All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into the Duck River Electric Weather Center for live severe weather coverage of a severe thunderstorm that we have moving into the coverage area. Right now, it's situated on the Giles and um, Lawrence County line, and this will eventually be moving up into southeastern portions of Murray County, as well as southern portions of Marshall County over the next I would say 15 to 20 minutes or so. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and start our live stream here. Again, I do continuous live coverage for any sort of severe thunderstorm warnings that we have in effect. And in this case, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect here for Marshall and Murray County. Okay, so this goes until 3:30 p.m. 3:30 p.m. is what we have on this severe thunderstorm warning here. Now you can see this is kind of the worst part of the storm here. Is right over. Let me get rid of this. Hold on. Okay. The worst part of the storm is right here. Okay, right here where this pink and purple black shadings are. That's going to be some of the heavier hail we have falling, and then also we do have some strong wind gusts here as well. Let's go ahead and look here. This is showing 45 miles per hour, 46 miles per hour, 40 miles an hour, and there is a radar site in Lawrenceburg that has been reporting a potential tornadic circulation here with this thunderstorm as well. That's not being picked up very well by our Huntsville high top radar. So that's something else to keep in mind too. That this thunderstorm has been rotating over the past few minutes, and it is something that I will definitely be keeping an eye on as we continue to track this storm coming off towards the east. So. Right now, we have reports of power line damage in Waynesboro, and then also a roof off of a building just west of Etheridge in northern Lawrence County. Okay, so this thunderstorm is coming up into southern Murray County. So Colioca, Bryant Station is going to be kind of our communities of focus here in Murray County. And then in Marshall County, I'm talking about Lewisburg and Cornersville, right along the I-65 corridor between Bear Creek Pike all the way down to the Giles County line is kind of where I'm most concerned about with the potential for a very strong to a severe thunderstorm. Okay, and on the current track, yes, this would be impacting portions of Bedford County here in the next hour or two. Okay, we're still a couple moments away from it reaching Bedford County, so we're not really talking about Bedford County at this time, but it's something that I will be keeping a close eye on as we go forward in time here over the next couple of minutes. Okay, we also have some stronger storms down here into northern Alabama. Not really anything too crazy. But we will or we are going to be watching this whole line because there are some pretty good pockets of strong stormage here that is worth keeping an eye on over the next little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom in here on this thunderstorm and see if Jonestown, Alexander Springs, Three Oaks, Weber City, Liberty Hill kind of getting in on the worst of the action right now. This is on the Lawrence and Giles County line. And again, this will be coming up into our coverage area in just a little bit. And we'll be sure to, name off streets and stuff like that as it continues to get closer. But at least for right now, we're just kind of watching it slowly march our direction towards Murray County. Okay, because that's Murray and Marshall County are the ones I cover, and then portions of Giles County here that are covered by Duck River Electric as well. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on things here. We're live on all of our social platforms as well as our live weather apps. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to get over all the traffic and mess I had to deal with earlier. So we're live on pretty much everything. So you can watch us here as we continue to track these thunderstorms and they move in from the south and west. Okay, so I'm actually going to do a 3D scan here of this thunderstorm and see how tall it is, because every time I do a school talk, I talk about this. The stronger or the taller the thunderstorm is, the stronger that it usually is. Okay, and so we'll look here and see how tall this thunderstorm is. So we're looking here. I'm going to kind of shift it around this way and then come in, and you can see this is a 3D look at at the thunderstorm here, and we can see that it looks like the tops of the thunderstorms are around 30, maybe 40,000 feet at this point, which is fairly tall. And if you've been here a while, then you know that usually the taller the thunderstorm is, the stronger it is. Okay, so that's something that I'm keeping an eye on here is how tall the thunderstorms are, because that a lot of times helps us figure out um, how heavy and strong the thunderstorm is. And there's a lot of hail in this storm too. You see all this pink. You see all that pink inside this thunderstorm. That is a lot of hail falling out of this thunderstorm here in northern Lawrence and Giles County, moving into Marshall and Murray County over the next couple of minutes here. Okay, so whoops, didn't mean to do that. Let's turn off our volumetric scans and go back to the normal radar. And we can see here we've had about 17 lightning strikes with this particular portion of the storm in the past, I would say, 15 or 20 minutes or so. So we have a pretty good amount of lightning, and this is moving into an environment that is highly unstable. That means that we have a lot of storm energy to work with here, and this storm is going to be able to keep on going. If it continues on its same track, it will be moving towards portions of Bedford County and Coffee County over the next few hours. Okay. So I'm seeing some. I have the chat room, the National Weather Service chat room, up on this other side, and I am seeing some photos of some wind related damage here in Etheridge. That's where the Amish live, up there in northern Lawrence County. So there's definitely some damage reports coming out of this thunderstorm activity, and as it continues to push off, it's a very concentrated area of really strong winds and really heavy rainfall and stuff. But wherever that concentrated area, wherever it goes over, we could have some damage, some wind damage, and stuff like that. And this thunderstorm is warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as the threat for some up to quarter-sized hail. Okay, so it's something we're going to be keeping a very close eye on over the next little bit. So let's go ahead and do an ETA here. Let me see how fast this storm is going first. I need to... Okay, so it's moving at 40 miles an hour. Okay, so 40 miles an hour is the current track speed. So I'm just going to go from the strongest part of the storm here, and we're going to go out 40 miles an hour from there. Okay, and I'm also going to make this a little bit... let me see, minimal rank 2. Okay, so here are some of the bigger communities that are in the path of this severe thunderstorm. So we have Linville at 3:03 p.m., Colioca at 3:05, Bryant Station at 3:13 there in Murray County, Cornersville here in Marshall County at 3:18 p.m., and then Lewisburg at 3:21. On the current track and intensity, this is when we can expect the severe thunderstorm to reach you. Okay, so Colioca and Linville are going to be up first here, and then Bryant Station and Cornersville, and then finally we have Lewisburg around 3:21, and then we'll continue to track this out further east. And I'll go ahead and give some advanced times a little bit further to the east, but one thing that we have to keep in mind is that this storm is still a couple moments away, okay, from us here in Bedford County. So that's something that we'll have to keep an eye on here. Now, why is this not getting off of my screen? Hello. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, I'm still trying to learn this system, so sometimes I apologize if it takes me a second. So anyway, let's do another one here, and I'm going to pull this out. We'll continue this track at 30 miles an hour here, going off towards the... or at 40 miles an hour, we'll continue this. So let's do some line segment tracking here. So let's do Lewisburg around 3:21. We have Unionville 3:45. Okay, Unionville at 3:45. We have Shelbyville about 3:50 p.m. Okay, so here in Shelbyville, we can expect this line of storms to continue to march off towards the east, and it'll be around Shelbyville at 3:45 p.m. Okay, Cornersville 3:22, like I was saying a minute ago. Now we're talking about Mount Herman area. This is where 231 kind of straggles the line between Moore and Lincoln County. This will be around 3:45 for you folks there on the 231 corridor going towards Lincoln County. Now on the northern end, we're talking about Rover and Unionville, somewhere around 3:30. Okay, 3:30 p.m. For you folks there in Unionville and Rover. Right now, it does look like kind of the worst of the storm may actually miss y'all just to the south, but it's something I'm going to be keeping a close eye on over the next little bit here. Okay, so it does look like after the 3 or well into the 3 o'clock hour, 3:45, 3:50, closer to 4 o'clock for folks around the 231 corridor, but those further off towards the west. So I'm talking about Wheel, Unionville, Rover, Pleasant Grove, places like that in far western Bedford County. We're talking about very short amount of time here, maybe another 30, 35 minutes before this very strong thunderstorm gets into your area. Okay. I don't see any immediate need for a tornado warning at this point, but anyway, regardless, this is a very strong thunderstorm with the potential for some 60-mile-per-hour winds over the next couple moments here. Okay, so you can kind of see this line is growing a little bit too. We kind of have really strong thunderstorms from basically the Giles County line all the way down here to just south of Lawrenceburg. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if this ends up being severe warned along the entire line here momentarily as this storm continues to shift off towards the east at around 40 miles per hour. Okay. Coffee County, you still got plenty of time here. Okay. Plenty of time here in Coffee County. Probably not looking at it until well after 4 o'clock. Well after 4 o'clock for you folks there in Coffee County on the current strength and intensity. Okay. And it could, we've had a pretty good amount of sunshine this afternoon, kind of help these thunderstorms gather in strength a little bit at least. So it's something that I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on as these storms continue to push off. And I plan on being live this entire time. So I'm going to be live from the moment the first severe thunderstorm warning pops up to the last one leaves. I plan on doing a live stream here for us. So don't worry about not being live or anything like that, because I'm here to stay. You've got me locked in here for at least a few hours while we watch these thunderstorms come through. So also want to know, do you guys like the new ticker I have at the bottom there? That's a new thing that I just added here. I added it last week, actually, and it gives you the latest alerts for every county that I cover. So if you like that, just let me know. That's a new part, and then it also has the time and date there at the bottom as well. So just some things I'm trying to start to help y'all out. I want this to be a good service to y'all, and I'm always trying to find ways to update and innovate. And that's one of the things that I decided to add in last week before we really kicked off severe weather season in a big way here. So anyway, thank you for the stars, Mary. Thank you for the stars. If you have any questions, I'm here on Facebook. I've got my phone up on the other screen here, or I've got my got Facebook up on my other screen, and I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to answer any questions you got, and we're going to be here for the long haul, at least for a little bit. So, and we do have a it looks like a tornado did in fact touch down in Etheridge just a little bit ago, and this is the same part of the storm that'll be moving into Murray and Marshall County in the next few moments. Okay. So we have a new special weather statement. Special weather statement has just come out. This is what I call a JV severe thunderstorm warning, or a TEMU severe thunderstorm warning. So, it's not really anything crazy, but a special weather statement is kind of saying, hey, we're watching this storm, we're looking at it, we're seeing what you're seeing. but for the time, we're not really ready to warn on it for a severe. It doesn't have 60+ mile per hour winds. It's not going to really cause that much damage, but it's still a noisy thunderstorm. So you see this tan box that just kind of came up here over Pulaski and down to Elkton and Ardmore over towards Lawrenceburg. This is a special weather statement. Okay, so we have a special weather statement. We have a severe thunderstorm warning up north, and then a special weather statement here for this box in Giles County and Marshall County as well. And this will continue to push off towards the east. So Fayetteville, Lynchburg, Winchester, advance heads up that this portion of the storm is going to be visiting you here after a while. Cornersville, you're going to be hit here very soon. Okay, very soon. We're talking about maybe 10 or 15 minutes here for you there in Cornersville. Here's Cornersville right here. And then here's the leading edge of the storms right along US 31, not 31A, but US 31. Okay. So if I do a quick storm track and just come on out here, we're talking 321 here for Cornersville. So maybe 10 to 15 minutes to get prepared there in Cornersville. And again, the main concern here is damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and large hail. Okay. Right now, the severe weather threat is not overly impressive, or not the tornado threat is not overly impressive, but it's something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on, and we'll be sure to keep everyone updated over the next hour or so as this storm continues to push off towards the north and east. Okay. We also wanted. I don't want to forget about y'all up here in Spring Hill. We have another severe thunderstorm warning up here for Spring Hill. I'm going to move over to the Nashville radar for this specific warning because it's just a tad bit closer. And right here you can see our severe thunderstorm warning for pretty much just Spring Hill here in northern Murray County, potentially up to 60-mile-per-hour winds. They're in the Spring Hill area right now, very heavy rain, lots of cloud-to-ground lightning. But at this point, I think the worst of the storm here is kind of up towards Franklin, Brentwood, and Nolensville, okay, where the worst of this particular portion of the line is. Now, we do have this monstrosity down here that we're going to have to deal with over the next little bit. But at least up here, for my folks in Spring Hill and folks up there, the worst of the storm looks to be in Franklin, Brentwood, up towards Nashville. Okay, and that will be moving towards Murfreesboro. So if you have anyone in Murfreesboro, which I know a lot of y'all work in Murfreesboro, especially in Shelbyville and Coffee County, if you're in Murfreesboro right now, be prepared because a line of strong thunderstorms is going to be coming through over the next 45 minutes to an hour there along the 231 corridor. And as much as I would like to help out, I have people say all the time, what about, I'm driving here, I'm driving there, everywhere else. I would love to answer every single one of your questions, but it not only is it hard to do, but it's also a legal liability on on my end to be able to give you wrong information or something like that if that were to happen. I don't want to hurt myself in my business, right? So I have to kind of refrain from answering some of those questions, but I'm giving you all the tools to help you make those informed decisions. So if you have the Southern Tennessee weather app, if you're watching this stream, then you know when the storms are going to be coming your direction, right? When they're going to be coming this way. And that's what we can do, hopefully, is help you make an informed decision. I don't want to make that decision for you, right? But I can help you. I can help you in making the decision right as the storms get closer. Okay. So now we're going to move in a little bit further. I'm going to move in a little bit further here zoom in a little bit more into this severe thunderstorm. So Colioca down to Linville, over towards the I-65 corridor right there where 31A comes in, and highway, I think that, or Mooresville Highway, yes, Mooresville Highway. We're talking about maybe 5 minutes here for y'all there in that portion. And it looks like the Weather Service did just issue a new severe thunderstorm warning here for southern Marshall County. And this is where that JV severe thunderstorm warning is. That I was just talking about, the Timu severe thunderstorm warning that we were just talking about right here has been upgraded to a actual severe thunderstorm warning now. Okay. So we now have a real severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect here for Giles and in Marshall County, um, in, on top of the one we already have in effect. So we have two separate warnings here. The northern one is for Bryant Station, Colioca, Lewisburg, Cornersville, Linville. And that's until 3:30. And then we also have this one for the southern portion of the line. So this is going to be more towards Pulaski and down towards Petersburg, right? Until 3:45 p.m. And we'll have to see that. We'll have to see how the storm maintains its strength or continues to intensify as it gets closer to Lincoln County and Bedford County. Okay, so we just kind of have a little complex here of strong to severe thunderstorms from about Linville all the way down to just south of Pulaski, and this is going to be moving right up into Bedford County and Lincoln County and Moore County over the next little bit. Okay, so be prepared over the next few minutes. So Franklin, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning up here. You have a pretty nice thunderstorm going on, but it does look like the Weather Service just canceled that severe thunderstorm warning. So there's no longer a severe thunderstorm warning in effect here for Franklin, Brentwood, and Spring Hill. Right as soon as I said that, they decided to cancel it. So anyway, there's right now, there's about 25 lightning strikes on this whole kind of little complex of storms we have going on here. Colioca, Campbell Station, and Mooresville kind of getting in on the worst of this action right now along the US 31 corridor in Marshall County, or in Murray County, all the way over to the I-65 corridor in Marshall County. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find a place to hold up my phone, and that's not working out very well for me right now. So I'm trying to find a place where I can still see y'all's comments, but it doesn't block up my screen. So give me just a second here to get this situated. It should be out of Shelbyville, I would say, by 6 o'clock at the absolute latest. I mean, I'm talking about maybe that would be the absolute latest. I'm thinking more like probably 5 o'clock for Shelbyville is when it should be moved out by. But just, continue to tune in, or if you need to go do something, get something done, now's the time to do it. If you want to get something done outside in Bedford County, do it now, because here in a couple minutes, we're not going to be able to do any stuff outside, right? Because we have a line of strong to severe thunderstorms moving into Bedford County and will likely impact a good portion of Bedford County in the next 30 to 45 minutes or so. Okay, so the worst of the storm right now is actually in Giles County, which I don't technically cover Giles County, but up here towards Linville, there's probably some stronger winds ongoing there, and then up into southern or extreme southeastern Murray County, just south of Colioca, probably getting in on some small hail, maybe pea size. We can look at that actually and see what kind of. So it looks like maybe 1 inch sized hail, half-inch sized hail going on down here in Giles County. But in terms of, anything super crazy with the wind or anything like that, I'm just not seeing it right this moment. But it is starting to bow out a little bit. So you see, I'm still seeing. Okay. So you see these green colors coming right into Pulaski. That's probably where we have some stronger winds. This is actually showing upwards of 60 miles per hour coming into downtown Pulaski right now. So that'll be entering into Lincoln County and southern Marshall County over the next little bit. So be prepared. Be prepared for that. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the normal reflectivity view right now. So we have a new special weather statement. So that is, again, a JV severe thunderstorm warning, or just kind of a lower end warning than a severe thunderstorm is where. Okay, well, Huntsville just went out big time here. Okay, so we have a new severe thunderstorm warning now. Can you believe it? We have a new severe thunderstorm warning, and it's going to cover northern Lincoln, all of Moore County, and then northern Franklin County as well. And this goes for an hour and 5 minutes. Okay, so You see this big old long polygon right here. I mean, this is a huge polygon here for this really strong cluster of thunderstorms we have moving in. Okay, very very strong. So here's the alerts we have right now. We have 3 different severe thunderstorm warnings, and it's a little crazy to figure it all out right now. And I'm having to shift between chat rooms, but we have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. Severe thunderstorm warning number 1 is for Marshall and Northern Giles County. We also have one in effect for Southern Giles County, and then we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin County. Okay. Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin County is where kind of the worst of the weather is at this current moment. Okay, so over the next few moments, I do anticipate this severe thunderstorm warning coming up into Bedford, maybe even a little bit of coffee by the time this ends in the next 15 minutes. But we will see. Reports of a roof collapse in Pulaski. So there's a collapsed roof in Pulaski, and this portion of the storm is what's going to be moving into Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin County over the next little bit here. Okay, so the strongest portion of this storm is fixing to come up right into Cornersville. So Cornersville, you need to be inside and away from windows. Inside and away from windows. Lewisburg, you're not going to be too far behind. I'm talking maybe 5 minutes here. We have 3:22, so I mean 10 minutes or so for you there in Cornersville, 3:22 for you there in Lewisburg as well. So around 3:20 to 3:25 for you folks there along the US 31A corridor in south central Marshall County is where we're seeing the worst of the stormage right now. And you can see lightning is starting to uptick too. We're up to 31 strikes. We're up to 31 strikes here on this thunderstorm. So Bryant Station in Murray County, Lewisburg, Cornersville, kind of where the worst of this storm is right now, folks. Okay, so you need to be indoors and away from windows. Wilson Hill, Globe, Mooresville getting in on the worst of this thunderstorm right now. Duncanville, Lincoln Park, and not the rock band. Fairview, Cochran, Holly Grove, Whitehead, Cowden, not Cowan, but Cowden. Okay, so this is kind of where the worst of the storm is going to be heading over the next few moments here in Marshall County. Okay, I am going to see if I can pull up here fairly quickly. I know it shows nothing on your end, but I'm going to try to pull up the Cornersville camera and see if there is anything we can see here with this camera. Now it's going to be a little jumpy on this particular screen, but and if Landon's watching, we need to figure out how to add this in where I can just pull these up on the other thing. But anyway, we're going to see if this loads in here real quick, and if not, I'm going to attempt to pull it up on the other screen, and we will see how that goes. All right, it doesn't look like it's wanting to load very nicely here. So let me see if I can get this up very quickly. Oh yeah, this is a great view. Expand preview. Okay, you can't really see it well, and let me see if I can zoom in here. Okay, here we go. This is a little bit better. So this is in Cornersville right now. Okay. This is in Cornersville right now, and you can see the shelf cloud with this severe thunderstorm pushing in, and this will be in Cornersville in the next 5 or 10 minutes here, and this is what's coming into. Ooh, that was a good old strike of lightning right there. Good old strike of lightning. So there is a lot of wind and rain that's about to be entering into Cornersville right now. Okay, so we are looking at Cornersville. This is on the corner of 31A and New Ostella Road in Cornersville from the South Marshall Volunteer Fire Department. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. If you're like, what in the world is going on here? We're looking at Cornersville. Okay, I'll even zoom in a little bit more for us here. And we're looking at a shelf cloud moving into Cornersville right now. Okay, nothing tornadic. I don't see anything. The shelf cloud looks ominous, but there's no tornadic activity here with this, at least at the moment, from what I can see. But definitely there is a lot of upward motion and probably a good amount of wind and rain about to come in with us here in Cornersville. Okay, again, this is at the corner of US 31A and New Ostella Road. New Ostella Road. So we'll kind of sit here and watch this for a second as it continues to move in. Yeah, it's not quite to Lewisburg yet. I mean, it'll take a couple minutes after it passes us here in Cornersville, but it'll be here. It'll be here very, very soon in Cornersville, and we'll see how fast the winds are. So, the National Weather Service is continuing the severe thunderstorm warning for Franklin, Moore, and Lincoln County. So that's another thing that I'm watching here. Is that a severe thunderstorm? But this is a part of the complex that is coming through Cornersville right now. So this will continue to push off towards the east in a couple moments. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of looking around here fairly quickly. See how fast the wind was. Nope. Is it going to be bad in Pelham? I can't tell you that for sure. I think, based off the latest trends I'm seeing right now, I would be prepared for some strong to severe thunderstorms in Pelham. Okay, pretty much all of our area is going to be hit by this severe thunderstorm as it continues to push off towards the east over the next little bit. All right, so everybody needs to be prepared here, and we're fixing to watch it live. As long as the power doesn't go out or anything, or the internet doesn't go out, we should be watching this live as it continues to push in here. You can see the wall of water kind of overtaking the hollers and hills. That's where I-65 goes right through there. That's a cell phone tower for I-65 there in the background, okay? So again, we're looking at South Marshall Volunteer Fire Department in Cornersville, okay? That's where this severe thunderstorm is rolling in right now. You can actually see I-65, some of the trucks and stuff right off there going down the ridge. But we're watching it come in live. This is the good thing about having access to so many cameras across our coverage areas, that we can see stuff happen live, right? As the thunderstorm is coming through. So I don't think it gets much better than this right here. You can see the wall of water coming in. There's not very much left here before it hits us here in Cornersville, okay? This is again on the corner of US 31A and New Ostella Road in Cornersville, and you can see the wind is absolutely ripping, or you can see with the way the camera is shaking. And this is not very high off the ground here, but the wind is ripping pretty good, and it's again, straight line winds is the primary concern that we're dealing with here in Cornersville. Okay. Yep, here it is. Yep, it's here at Cornersville. Cornersville, it is here, and it's rocking pretty good. Got some good wind gusts happening, some sheets of wind and rain, and it goes from good visibility to absolutely none, just like that. Really good wind gusts happening here in Cornersville right now. I would say probably every bit of at least 40 or 50. Now, obviously, there's a chance that they could be a little bit higher, and I'll look at look at how it is absolutely ripping right here in Cornersville, and that's kind of where the worst of the storm is right now, coming right through Cornersville. We have a gust of 31 right now is all we have here in Cornersville. Not much higher than that at this current moment. Well, we just had one go up to 40. Okay, so we're up in around the 40 degree range or 40 mile per hour range here in Cornersville. And this is moving into Lewisburg next. So, just a couple moments here, and this will be in Lewisburg as well, and eventually into Bedford County. So, what you see here is what you're going to get in Bedford County here in probably 30 minutes or so at the earliest. Okay. So, let me go back to the radar here. Oh, well, now it's back on this side. It's back on this side where it's working good. But still, I mean, it's really really impressive wind and rain happening there in Cornersville right now. Okay, so let's go back here. I'm going to clear this off, and we'll go back to the normal tab and see what the latest radar looks like. Okay, so we have another 10 minutes here on this severe thunderstorm warning for Marshall County, and I totally expect that to be to move into Franklin, or to move into Bedford County as well. So Bedford County probably, maybe 5 minutes or so before you have a severe thunderstorm warning for yourself. Okay. So let's look here at some of the wind data that we have off this thunderstorm. So around Cornersville, 45, 48 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour, coming right into southern Marshall County. So this would include Ostella, along New Ostella Road, Archer, Brown's Shop, down Delina Road, down into Ebenezer and Delina, of course, Nat Grove, over towards Petersburg and Tally, okay? Kind of where the worst of this thunderstorm is going to be moving over the next couple of moments. And there is a little bit of rotation here just south of Cornersville, just south of our camera view, that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on too as it continues to push off towards the north and the east over the next little bit here, okay? So just a quick update here. Let's go ahead and do another timing track. Shelbyville, 348 for you here in Shelbyville, about 20 minutes. Normandy, 412 for you there in Normandy. Tullahoma, around 416. Lynchburg, around 4 o'clock. Okay, up towards Unionville, you have about 3:44 p.m. Okay. Let's look down here towards Flat Creek, around 4 o'clock for you there in Flat Creek, okay? So this is about to be entering Bedford County from the west, okay? There are a couple kinks in the line, and I'm keeping a close eye on this stuff. This is a very strong to severe thunderstorm, to say the least, but at least at this time, I don't see anything super overly concerning as it relates to the tornadic threat. But as you know, with stuff here in Tennessee, we had to keep a close eye on it because a lot can change very, very quickly if we aren't careful. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and we're going to look at Lewisburg if we can. Lewisburg, expand. Okay. All right, so here's Lewisburg. It's supposedly going to be coming right into Lewisburg here in just a second, and it's fairly quiet right now. Fairly quiet here in Lewisburg right this moment, but that could change over the course of the next 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm going to leave this on Lewisburg for just a second, and I'm going to step out to make sure the folks here at Duck River are doing all right, and see if they have any reports of power outage issues or anything like that. So I will return here in just a second. All right, I have returned. Sorry about that. So, a new severe thunderstorm warning coming, including Bedford, Marshall, and southern Rutherford County. Okay, southern Rutherford County, Bedford, and Marshall about to be included in this new severe thunderstorm warning here in just a moment. So this is in addition to the storms we just had. So now there we go. I just got it on the Southern Tennessee weather app for a severe thunderstorm warning, and a tornado is possible. Tornado possible tag with this new severe thunderstorm warning as well. So we'll see that populate right now. So this includes all of Bedford County. So all of Bedford County is now included in a severe thunderstorm warning here until 4:30 p.m. So Shelbyville, Wartrace, Bell Buckle, Flat Creek, Pleasant Grove, Wheel. I'm talking pretty much everybody across the map here in Bedford County is under this new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued. And there is a tornado possible tag to go along with this. Chapel Hill is also included in this new severe thunderstorm warning, okay? So just like I was kind of thinking would end up happening here, the new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued, and this is now what we're watching. And of course, this is the worst of the storm. Okay, right here from let's use blue, I guess. This is probably the one that will stand out the most anyway. So you see inside here, this is kind of the worst of the storm from Chapel Hill down to Lewisburg and Cornersville, and this is all moving towards the north and east. Okay, so Shelbyville, El Bethel, Wartrace, Bell Buckle, Normandy, Flat Creek, um, Wheel, pretty much everybody in Bedford County needs to be taking their precautions and getting inside, away from windows. You do not want to be caught outdoors when this storm rolls in. So just be aware of that. Okay, there are no tornado warnings in effect at this time, and we'll look at the latest velocity data here just to see. And we're still seeing some pretty strong winds here, potentially greater than 60 miles an hour, kind of bowing out here just south of Cornersville along New Ostella Road coming into Petersburg. Okay, so after this gets through Petersburg, we're going to be talking about southern Bedford County next, right along State Route 130, going up towards Snell Road and Liberty School, going up towards Flat Creek, southern Shelbyville. Okay, it's kind of where I'm seeing the worst of the winds, at least in the data right now, from this point of view. Okay, so let's. Okay, that does not include us. Let me take a look at the Huntsville radar site here, or the Huntsville chat room, just to make sure I haven't missed anything important. Okay. All right. It's pretty much the same that Nashville has here. Not much being talked about there in the chat room for Huntsville. Okay. So again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for Marshall, Bedford, Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin County for the potential for 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts here, straight line winds. Okay. Coming right up into this is the worst of the storm that I'm seeing right now. Lewisburg down to just east of Cornersville, down to the Lincoln and Marshall County line. Okay. Archer, Brown Shop, right along New Ostella Road, coming right down in through here. Short Road, Hempville Road, down towards Delina Road and Fayetteville Highway, going down into Petersburg is kind of where the worst of this weather is coming. And I do have a new camera and wheel we'll look at here in just a moment as this storm continues to push off towards the north and east. Okay, so especially if you're in Shelbyville, Wartrace, Normandy, down into southern Bedford County is really where I'm concerned about some really strong wind gusts. Okay, I'm talking easily, potentially 60 plus mile per hour straight line winds here, especially for southern Bedford County over the next little bit, because this is a very strong line, a very strong area of thunderstorms here that is going to be moving right towards the southern half of Shelbyville to Mount Herman, over towards Flat Creek, Chestnut Ridge, places like that. Okay, Ross eventually, and Normandy too. So be prepared for some very strong winds over the next little bit. If you're in southern Bedford County, northern Moore County, and far northern Lincoln County as well. Okay, that's really my area of most concern at this moment. And lightning continues to trickle on up here. We're up to 35 strikes, okay, or 36 strikes in the past 5 minutes here with this thunderstorm coming out of Lewisburg and into southern Bedford County. Okay. Franklin County is under a severe thunderstorm warning, but we'll get to talking about Franklin County over the next hour or so as the storm continues to march off your way. But at least for the time being, we're going to stick with Bedford and Marshall and Moore County, because that's the area that's next up here for the severe thunderstorm. Okay. So again, southern Bedford County, northern Moore County, and northern Lincoln County is kind of the area that I'm most concerned with as it relates to the potential for some 60 plus mile per hour winds. Okay. About to come into Wheel, Bedford, Pleasant Grove, Branchville, Hawthorne in the next 10 minutes or so. Okay. I'll do another storm track here. Let me make sure that this hasn't been. Okay. So it's now down to 35 miles per hour. It was up to 40, but we will, okay. Give me just a second here. It takes me a moment to figure out everything because, again, this is a new system. All right, so let's do a storm track here coming out of Marshall County and into Bedford County. Okay, so we're talking about Shelbyville, 358, 358, 358 for you there in Shelbyville. Okay, let's do one down here for Flat Creek. We're talking about 4 o'clock. 4:01 for you there in Flat Creek, okay? Normandy, 4:12. 4:12 p.m. for you in Normandy. Lynchburg, we're talking about 4 o'clock on the dot. Up towards Wartrace, 4:08 p.m. 4:08 p.m. 3:45 in about 15 minutes here for you folks in Unionville and Rover. Okay, so that's kind of the latest times of arrival that I have, and I can do one that kind of blankets everything here, but just be aware that it does leave off a few of the smaller communities because if I didn't have it turned off, then it would be a little crazy here. So Palmetto 3:40 or 3:35 p.m. Whitaker 3:36 p.m. Petersburg 3:37 p.m. Wheel 3:38. Richmond 3:40. Bedford 3:41. Pleasant Grove 3:45. Chestnut Ridge 3:47. Hawthorne 3:50. Shelbyville Mills 3:50. Creekwood 3:51. And El Bethel at 3:51 p.m. Okay, so that's some of the latest times of arrival here, especially for the folks further west, okay? And this storm is absolutely exploding in terms of lightning here. We're up to 41 strikes in the past 5 minutes. I'm really concerned, and when I say that, I'm not concerned about necessarily anything tornadic, but I'm concerned about the threat for very strong winds right now, especially across southern Bedford County. So again, if you're in Whitaker, if you're in Pleasant Grove, if you're in Branchville, if you're in Hawthorne, New Herman, Flat Creek, Hymesville, over towards Singleton, Bottle Hollow, Ross, Midway, Hilltop, over towards Normandy, I am increasingly concerned about the threat for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, okay? Petersburg, right on the Marshall and Lincoln County line, getting in on a very strong thunderstorm here. I'll zoom in here fairly quickly. Tally down Fayetteville Highway to Tollgate Road and Delina Road, Fuss Hollow Road here in far southern Marshall County. We're seeing a very strong thunderstorm here with plenty of cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, 37 lightning strikes in the past 5 minutes here, okay? So a very strong to severe thunderstorm ongoing here in far southeastern Marshall County, and it's moving up into southern Bedford County and far northern Moore County. Okay, so be prepared for this. I'm getting a lot of questions here. Will there be any more after this line passes? This is going to be our main event. Okay, once this thunderstorm passes, we'll be done for the day. Okay, we'll be dealing with some steady rainfall and stuff like that, but in terms of a severe weather threat, we will be mostly done once this thunderstorm passes. Okay, so that is good news to communicate to y'all right now. Is that this will be the only severe thunderstorm that we have to deal with today, or should be, as long as everything continues to stay on track here. So let's do another time of arrival here very quickly. So Petersburg right now, 3:35 p.m. for you in Petersburg. Palmetto 3:37, Whitaker 3:38, Wheel 3:40, Bedford 3:43, Chestnut Ridge 3:45, Hawthorne at 3:50, Mount Herman at 3:50, Shelbyville Mills on the west side of Shelbyville around 3:51, and El Bethel at 3:53 p.m. Okay, and we're talking about maybe 15 or 20 minutes for the worst of the storm. The worst of the storm will only last a couple moments, and then it'll be gone. Okay, so we just have to get through this one portion of this very strong thunderstorm, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, so one little radar presentation that I'm noticing right now that's very impressive is you see how it's kind of bowing out here. You see how this. Maybe the yellow you can see a little bit better, but you see how the purples and pinks are kind of bowing like a bow and arrow when you pull it back. So that happens when you have really strong straight line winds. Okay, so especially southern Bedford County, I'm talking about right there along Chestnut Ridge over towards Flat Creek, 60 potentially 70-mile-per-hour winds here. In the next couple moments, moving out of Petersburg, along the State Route 129 corridor and into the Chestnut Ridge area, right on the Moore and Bedford County line, is kind of where I'm most concerned with for the potential for some very, very, very strong straight line winds, damaging straight line winds at that, with the potential for some 60 plus mile per hour winds. Is there anything tornadic? Is there anything tornadic? I don't think so, not at this moment, but it's something I'm going to be keeping a close eye on over the next little bit. Okay, again, southern Bedford County. Okay, Miss Linda, lightning and heavy rain and strong wind in Wheel right now. Okay, so the storm is now coming into southern Bedford County. Okay, southern Bedford County, this storm is now coming into. All right. Just checking our feeds here. I've been yapping and yapping and yapping. And I don't have any more water, of course, but wind is picked up by Unionville. Thank you, Cindy. So I've seen some reports of, and so I want to get this straight too. So Chapel Hill and Unionville and Rover, y'all are technically under a severe thunderstorm warning, but I think I know that the worst of the storm is going to stay south of y'all. You're going to see, maybe some 30, 40, 50 mile per hour winds with this activity here. But I think the worst, or I know the worst of the storm here is going to be over far southern Bedford County and kind of ride the line. Okay, right now it's right over Pleasant Grove, Branchville, right along State Route 130 coming southwest towards Petersburg. Okay, Pickle Road, Courtner Hollow Road up towards Whitaker, Nat Road over towards the Bedford community, Comstock Road, Cobble Road, Greer Road, Richmond Pike. Okay, if I'm naming off any of your the streets you live near, it's kind of where I'm expecting the worst of the thunderstorms over the next few moments here. Okay, so again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for all of Bedford County that expires at 4:30 p.m. Okay, so we have another almost hour, 55 minutes here with this severe thunderstorm warning in Bedford County, and then we also have a severe thunderstorm warning for far northern Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin County. Okay, for this same little area of thunderstorms, Flat Creek, Hymesville, 231 corridor. Okay. This is kind of where I'm thinking the worst of the storm is going to go. Snell Road, right towards Liberty School, out towards Flat Creek, Bottle Hollow, Midway, Ross, and then into northern Tullahoma, into Normandy. Okay, this is kind of where the worst of the thunderstorm is expected right now. Okay, let me look at this real quick because you can see there's a little bit of a hook feature trying to form here just north of Bledsoe in extreme northern Lincoln County. Let me see what the radar is showing. I'm not seeing anything overly concerning in that department, but there is some reds and some greens a little close together, probably a little bit of rotation happening there. But in terms of an imminent tornado, I'm not. So the Weather Service just said, monitoring our southern storms very closely. There's a nice Boeing signature, so there should be some strong winds. Remember I was just talking about that Boeing, the bow and arrow, right? The Boeing structure with these thunderstorms. So it should be some strong winds between Belfast and Petersburg, and again, moving into Shelbyville over the next 5 to 10 minutes here, okay? So again, this is a very strong thunderstorm here that is moving through southern Bedford County, far southwestern Bedford County, Pleasant Grove, Hawthorne, Mount Herman, New Herman, Flat Creek, and Hymesville, as well as southern Shelbyville. Could be seeing, hail up to the size of quarters here with this thunderstorm as well, coming right into Pleasant Grove, Pickle Road, Richmond Pike, Snell Road. Okay, this is kind of where I'm expecting the worst of the weather here in Bedford County. For us here in northern Lincoln County, okay, along Chestnut Ridge, Shelbyville Highway, Poor Grab Chestnut Ridge. Apparently that's the name of a road there. poor grab Chestnut Ridge. I had to make sure I read that right. But a Bledsoe community there in far northern Lincoln County. Wells Hollow Road, Petersburg Chestnut Ridge Road. Okay, this is kind of the areas where I'm seeing the worst of the wind come through. And you can see still a very nice Boeing signature right here, right ahead of these thunderstorms. Very strong winds coming into the southern half of Shelbyville. Also talking about the potential for maybe there is a little bit of rotation showing up right here where I circled in red, and that could be, a place we have to watch over the next few moments. I do not think that, we're going to see anything crazy in terms of rotation, but still, I just got an alert with my weather app here. If you don't have the Southern Tennessee weather app, you need to download it. It just told me hail is approaching. Okay. It just told me that hail is approaching my area, right? So these thunderstorms are very, very strong moving into southern Shelbyville, okay? Pleasant Grove, Creekwood, Hymesville, Singleton, Flat Creek. I know I keep on saying the same locations over and over again. Chestnut Ridge, New Herman, eventually into county line area of southern Moore County, okay? Or northern Moore County, excuse me. This is kind of where I'm seeing the worst of the thunderstorm activity right now. The one good thing is that lightning strikes have come down just a tad, but still, this is a very, very strong thunderstorm and very organized thunderstorm here over southern Bedford County, okay? Bedford, is anyone out there towards Wheel getting any hail? Okay, anyone getting any hail there in Bedford or Wheel? I have a camera there. I think it's just a little bit too far north, but we can pull up the Turner Construction Company camera in Wheel and see if there is anything. Okay. So I don't think the storm has quite reached us here in Wheel yet, but it definitely looks like it's starting to rain at least here in Wheel. But for the time being, the worst, this is kind of just north of Wheel, kind of over towards the west side of Shelbyville, but it doesn't look like the worst of the storm has quite made it to this where the Wheel camera is here, but still very strong or very, very heavy rainfall happening there regardless. And there's a lot of lightning. There's a lot of lightning, and I hear a lot of thunder, big claps of thunder happening, okay? So if you're in Shelbyville, get ready. This storm is coming into you right now. Creekwood, down 231 South, out Lewis Avenue, Lewisburg Highway, State Route 64, over towards southern or eastern portions of the city of Shelbyville. So out Madison Street, Wartrace Pike, along US 41A, Midway, Bottle Hollow, Ross, Hilltop, Flat Creek, and Hymesville. Pleasant Grove, you're getting in on some really heavy wind and heavy hail right now, okay? I wouldn't be surprised at all if you're seeing some, let's see here, storm core intensity. We're talking really, this pink color here, very, very strong wind and rain happening here. And let's see what the radar is picking up on. This is saying 1.5 inches hail. 1.5 inches easily. With the hail size here, just out or right in Pleasant Grove along State Route 130. Okay, right on Pleasant Grove, Richmond Pike, right along State Route 130, where this pink box is. That's going to be potentially up to golf ball sized hail for us here. Okay, very, very strong thunderstorm here, moving into Shelbyville, southern Shelbyville, Flat Creek area right now. Okay, so. The Weather Service is now monitoring some rotation here in southern Bedford County. They've decided to monitor it closely here, and I'm keeping a close eye on it myself. Still a little bit of rotation right there where I was circling earlier, right? I was circling this right here. It's right over Hawthorne right now. You know, a little bit of rotation happening there. Probably some really gusty winds, okay? If you're in the... Oh, sorry. I was looking at that. If you're in southern Shelbyville, the Brookhaven community over towards the Country Club, okay, in Bedford County, you're going to see potentially quarter to golf ball sized hail any moment here, okay? This is a very, very strong thunderstorm with very heavy wind-driven hail up to the size of golf balls possible. And it looks like we are getting some hail here falling in Wheel right now, okay? It looks like that there is a little bit of hail falling here in Wheel. Yeah, you see those big white it's bouncing off the camera a little bit too. We do have a little bit of hail. I think it's small here from this portion of the wheel camera, but we are definitely getting some hail that's falling here. Southern Shelbyville, I can't stress it enough. You need to be inside. You need to be inside, okay? If you are in Southern Shelbyville, Hymesville, Singleton, Bottle Hollow, Flat Creek, get inside. Get inside. Very, very strong thunderstorm moving in, potentially up to golf ball sized hail here is going to be possible over the next few moments, on top of the potential for 60 plus mile per hour winds. Okay. 60 plus mile per hour winds will be possible here as well. Okay. So you need to be inside if you're in Flat Creek, if you're in Bottle Hollow, if you're in Ross, if you're in Normandy, if you're in Hymesville, you need to be inside and away from windows, not necessarily taking your tornado precautions at this time, but it's something I'm keeping a very close eye on, okay, over the next couple moments here. So in Shelbyville proper, we have a lot of heavy rain falling, okay? Not really anything super heavy, super strong or severe, but still some heavy rainfall falling here in Shelbyville. But by far, the worst of this storm is just south of Shelbyville. So in the Brookhaven community, you're probably seeing some hail right now. If you're in Hymesville, you're about to see some hail any minute now. Country Club area, about to see some hail right along Kingery Road, State Route 82. Seeing some hail. Yes, Rob, if you could bring me a water, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Hopefully you can hear me on here. But so you can see there is a lot of heavy activity moving into southern Shelbyville right now. It's right over top of you, okay? Potentially some quarter to golf ball sized hail. The Weather Service in Huntsville is watching for potentially a tornado warning about to come out here. Let me see. Okay, I'm not seeing anything super concrete there, but we'll keep a close eye on it. Okay, all right, he got it. All right, so you can see lots of heavy rain and potential for some hail coming into Hymesville right now, down to Flat Creek, right along State Route 82. Okay, if you're seeing any hail, please let me know. Please let me know. I don't have any windows in my office here. So, all right, let's do another storm track here fairly quickly. War Trace, you have maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Manchester, 4:15 for you folks in Manchester. Tullahoma, 4:15 p.m., okay? We're talking about up here near Beech Grove, around 4:15 as well, okay? Let's go over here towards Hillsboro. 4:35 p.m. 4:35 p.m. for us there in Hillsboro, okay? So if you're in Coffee County, if you're around Tullahoma, if you're around Manchester, get ready because we're about to see a very, very strong thunderstorm with the potential for some 60 plus mile per hour winds over the next couple of minutes, okay? If anyone has any reports there in southern or in central Bedford County here around at Hymesville and coming into Singleton, Flat Creek area, if you have any reports, those would be great to see. Great to see some reports there. Trying to see, we don't have any cameras, unfortunately, in Lynchburg or Tullahoma, so we'll have to wait until Manchester to see anything else here with this particular severe thunderstorm warning, okay? Small hail in Brookhaven about 5 minutes ago. Thank you, Jonathan. So this is the main event. Oh, there's a severe thunderstorm warning here for us in southern Bedford and northern Moore County. Definitely not a Timu. This is not a Timu severe thunderstorm. Definitely not. Tree down on Halls Mill Road, right by Virgil Crowell Road. Thank you, Brittany, for the report there. It's pouring at Walmart. It's pouring here too, okay? Let's go down into Lynchburg here. Let's not forget about you folks down here in Lynchburg. Coming on Charity Road. It's basically going to follow Charity Road for you right there into downtown Lynchburg over the next 10 to 15 minutes or so, okay? Let's do a storm track for us here. Lynchburg, 4:01 p.m., okay? Lynchburg, 4:01 p.m. And again, Tullahoma, 4:10 to 4:15. We're talking about Motlow State Community College, right around 4:03 p.m., okay? So these are some of the areas that are going to be most impacted by this severe thunderstorm as it continues to race off towards the north and the east. Okay. So let's go ahead and look down here again. Some very big, some nice indications of some large hail here. Um, some pretty good indications of some nice hail falling here in along Highway 130 between Singleton and southeastern Shelbyville. Okay, so folks along Gladys Drive, down Riverbend Country Club, Hymesville Road, Tollgate Road, Wallace Road, Gaither Road, Kathy Road about to get in on some of this action here with the really heavy thunderstorm activity. Okay, and let's look here and see what the didn't mean to check on that. So it also just gave me an alert that said a dangerous storm is approaching. My weather app did. So it's keeping a close eye on these storms, just like we are here. So a 1-inch hail is falling. Or nope, sorry, that was a little further towards the west. Around 1 inch, around quarter-sized hail, potentially here between Singleton and Bottle Hollow, down into Flat Creek, 1-inch sized hail. Okay, so very, very, very strong indications that we're seeing some large hail falling, at least from the radar site. Okay, and this is moving towards Roseville, Courtner, Normandy Road, right along Normandy Road. Okay, we're talking about Midway and Ross being next up, and then eventually into the northern portions of Tullahoma. Okay, the northern portions of Tullahoma is going to be next up for this strong to potentially severe thunderstorm. Okay. Give me just a moment. All right, I got somebody to bring me water, so that's good. All right, so let's go ahead and do. We're still watching this severe thunderstorm, and it's not over by any stretch of the imagination here. But definitely, we can say that that Marshall County is in the clear from this severe weather threat. Okay, Murray County is in the clear from this severe weather threat. Okay, Northern Giles County is in the clear. The worst part of this storm is by far right now coming into Normandy. Okay, Normandy, Courtner, Roseville, down to Midway, Singleton, Bottle Hollow, Ross. We're talking about the potential for some 60 to maybe even 70-mile-per-hour winds over the next few moments here. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the velocity data, and we're in a really tough spot here with the Huntsville radar to really see any of the worst of the rotation or strong winds or anything like that. But definitely nothing tornadic, at least right this second. But it is something I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. So, of course, if you're in Rover, if you're in Unionville, you're now in the clear. Okay, you're now in the clear from this severe weather threat. If you're in Wheel and Bedford and Whitaker, Palmetto, you're in the clear from this severe weather threat. Okay, I'm really concerned right now, mostly about Normandy to Courtner to Roseville, down towards Midway and Ross. Okay, that's kind of the next areas up here for the worst of this storm. And of course, down here in the southern part, or the southern part of our area, into Moore County as well. Okay, Moore County getting in on some of the worst of this action right now, coming into County Line in Lynchburg, right along Charity Road or State Route 129. Here is where I'm expecting some of the worst of the stormage to come in over the next 10 minutes or so. Okay, so let's do kind of a broad for the worst of this line here. As it moves off towards the east at 35 miles per hour, we'll do kind of a smaller, and let me, we're going to go up to 2 there. Okay, so we have Lynchburg around 4:03 p.m., Tullahoma at 4:11 p.m., and Manchester at 4:15 p.m., okay, for the worst of this severe thunderstorm as it continues to push off towards the east at 35 miles per hour, okay? 4:03 for Lynchburg, 4:11 for Tullahoma, and 4:14 for us in Manchester, okay? And again, the main concern here is going to be gusty winds, potentially up to 60 miles per hour, and the potential for some large hail as well, Okay, and this is coming into Tullahoma. This will be coming into Normandy right along the State Route 120 or 269 corridor over the next 5 to 10 minutes here. Okay, so I'm seeing somebody is in the chat, or someone's on a post asking, can I ask you a question or something, or being a creeper? That's a bot. Okay, so don't answer those. I'll block them as soon as I get off here. But if anyone is watching this that has admin access, can you go and block this Kareem dude that's going through and spamming questions about or creepy questions? He's doing it like every second here. It's a bot of some kind. So if you could block him, that would be great. If an admin is watching, I think it's on my. I think it's on the post about the I-24 being closed that I did earlier. Okay. So anyway, sorry about that. I needed to say that for just a second there, because it's absolutely blown up my phone right now. So anyway, let's go back down in here, and you can see the worst of this hail is right along Highway 41A South. Okay, Roseville. Coming into Normandy, downtown Normandy, Courtner Road, Red Hill Road, Carr Creek Road, Rippy Ridge Road. Potential for some quarter plus sized hail. Okay, quarter plus sized hail is possible here in around the Normandy. Around the Normandy area over the next few moments. Right now, it's right over top of the convenience center in Normandy. So if you know where that is, right along 41A, that's kind of where the worst of the hail is right now, right there at the corner of Normandy Road and 41A. And then this will continue to push off towards Normandy and eventually Normandy Lake. Okay, that's kind of the worst of the hail is right now. And then of course this whole line basically from just north of Normandy all the way down to Lynchburg around Mulberry, we're seeing the potential for some 60 plus mile per hour winds. Okay. So this severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect here for Bedford County until 4:30 p.m. and we'll likely see here in just a moment if they're going to extend this warning into Coffee County. Okay, so we'll see here in just a moment if they're going to continue this into Coffee County. Yes, the storm is coming into Tullahoma very shortly. I don't think we're going to have super big hail, but we will definitely have some strong straight line winds, potentially up to 60 miles per hour, and some small hail will be possible. Okay, but for us here in Shelbyville proper, if you're in Shelbyville proper, I think we're good to go. We're pretty much good to go here in the city limits of Shelbyville, kind of that area. Not really much happening right now. Well, you didn't see any hail in Shelbyville because the hail was south of Shelbyville, okay, near Flat Creek. All right. Um, Elijah, I guess the bot is gone now. The bot must be gone because I'm not seeing his stuff anymore. So someone got him. I don't know who it was. If you're in Shelbyville, you're all good. City limits of Shelbyville is fine, okay? Good to go. But now we're most concerned with is right along Normandy Road, okay? You see this pink and these black colors here? That's going to be potential for some quarter plus sized hail, okay? Coming directly into downtown Normandy, okay? Coming to the Valley View subdivision, Lakeview Road, Frank Hiles Road, Cascade Hollow Road, right along State Route 269, okay? This is where I'm expecting potentially some large hail on top of the threat for damaging winds. And when you have damaging winds on top of large hail, that creates a whole bigger issue, okay? A really big issue, right? So anyway, that's where the worst of the storm is right now. In Flat Creek, the worst of the storm is kind of past you now. It's down into Lynchburg at this point, okay? For us here in Lynchburg, it's coming into you right now, right along the State Route 55 corridor, okay? County line, Lynchburg, down into Mulberry as well. Could have some maybe nickel-sized hail, and the potential for some 60 plus mile per hour winds, okay? 60 plus mile per hour winds. But for us right now, the worst of this storm is most definitely going to be from Haley to Courtner to Roseville to Normandy, okay? Right along Rippy Ridge Road. Right along Rippy Ridge Road. In Normandy here is where I'm seeing the worst of the wind and the rain at this time, and the hail, of course, as well. So we'll see here very shortly. They're typing in the chat room. Okay. So there's a new severe warning that just come out here for Coffee and Grundy County. Okay, Coffee and Grundy County. So, new severe thunderstorm warning here. The box will pop up here in just a second for this new severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Okay. So, new severe thunderstorm warning, including Manchester, including Tullahoma, including Hillsborough, down to Altamont, Colmont, Tracy City, Palmer, Beersheba Springs, down into Pelham. Okay, I know some folks were asking about Pelham earlier. This is where we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now. Beech Grove is not included. Lakewood Park is not included in this severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, I'm mostly concerned with this portion of the storm specifically that's coming out of Normandy, and on this current track, it will be entering into Manchester. Okay, let me go ahead here and see what the. Okay, so it's moving east at 50, so a little bit faster than we had it before. Let me go ahead and trade this up to 50. 50. Okay, so let's do this at 50 miles an hour. So we have Manchester, 4:15 p.m., Tullahoma, 4:10, about 10 minutes to go here for this severe, or until the storm comes to you in Tullahoma. Okay, Lynchburg, you have maybe 3 or 4 minutes for you until the worst gets to you there in Lynchburg. Estill Springs, 4:20 p.m., 4:20 for you there in Estill Springs. Hopefully Snoop Dogg getting around, okay? If you could see up here towards the Deerfield community in Coffee County, you're talking about 4:15 for you up there. Okay, let's talk about Hillsborough here, 4:25 p.m. for you here in Hillsborough. Okay, so it's kind of the worst of the stormage. Manchester and Tullahoma, 4:10 to 4:15. Lynchburg around 4:05. Okay, you have maybe 3 or 4 minutes here. By the time this actually gets on the stream, you're talking about maybe 2 or 3, right? Estill Springs, 4:19 p.m. Okay, Hillsborough, 4:25. So that's the latest timing that we have right this moment. And again, the worst of this storm is by far directly over downtown Normandy right now. I wish I had a camera in Normandy to look at this. But potential for some quarter plus sized hail here in downtown Normandy right now. Okay, about to move into Tullahoma proper. Okay, so at Tullahoma, you're about to get in on the worst of this thunderstorm here. And it looks like with this latest this latest scan here that the worst of the hail has kind of calmed down, right? It's a little bit calmed down here, so that's good news. Maybe not up to quarter size anymore, but still, we're talking about the potential for 60 plus mile per hour winds definitely here with this severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect. Okay, so taking a look around, there are only 3 severe thunderstorm warnings, or 4 severe thunderstorm warnings in the entire country right now. One is in Pennsylvania that doesn't even have any lightning on it. One is in southwestern or southern and southeastern Kentucky, and then our severe thunderstorm warning here. So we're one of the very few here that's seeing severe weather right now coming into or coming through our area. Okay, let's zoom down into Lynchburg here because this storm is right on top of you, here in Lynchburg. Okay, Highway 55. The Highway 55 corridor coming into Raysville, coming into Pleasant Hill, coming into Ridgeville, Bakertown, Turkey Creek is going to be next up for potentially some 60 plus mile per hour winds here in Moore County. Okay, and you can see there's a lot of pink and a lot of red here. That's where we're likely seeing some really heavy rainfall. So even if, let's say that there's not any wind at all, you're still going to be dealing with a ton of very heavy blinding rainfall for us here. And it's right over downtown Lynchburg, okay? Right over downtown Lynchburg here, getting in on some of the worst of the action with potentially some 60 plus mile per hour winds in Lynchburg, coming into Pleasant Hill and Raysville. And I do have a camera going up in Lynchburg very soon. I do have a weather camera that'll be up very soon for us there in Lynchburg, which will help us out a lot in that regard. So let me check the velocity data here and looking at the winds in the atmosphere, just seeing a little bit of kinkiness in the line. I know that sounds weird, but I promise I'm talking about the the storm and the way it looks on the radar. Okay, it's looking a little kinky here, so we'll have to keep a close eye out on it. But at least for the time being here, it looks like that the main threat here is going to be damaging straight line winds. Okay, damaging straight line winds and potentially some large hail. The hail has upticked just a tad here over Normandy Lake. I mean, this is right over the middle of the lake right now. Small hail and winds in Normandy right now. Thank you very much, Mr. Joe. Joe's one of my neighbors. If anyone else has any reports of the hail or the wind, anything like that that you've seen, please feel free to send it to me. It does look like generally that the storm is starting to calm down just a tad. And the reason why I say that is we're down to 3 lightning strikes. Okay, we're down to 3 lightning strikes. Earlier, when it was south of Shelbyville, we were seeing, really strong or a lot of lightning strikes, right? Upwards of 20 or 30 every minute. But now we're down to 3. So I think we're pretty much, we're starting to calm down a little bit, but still, if you're in Manchester, if you're in Tullahoma, you need to be inside and away from windows because still could have some 60-mile-per-hour storms, okay? So let's look at Murray County here. You're in the clear. Oh, Brad there. That was good. That was good. So, Ross, you're going through the worst of it right now, or just got done with the worst of it. But let's go back here and Murray County here. See, when there's not tornado warnings and stuff, we can be a little fun with these, and I like to have a little bit of fun with y'all just because it's fun. So Donna just said it's not that bad in Lynchburg, just some wind and rain. Thank you, Donna. That's about what I thought. I didn't think it was too rough there. But anyway, if you're in Murray County, you're in the clear. Okay, no more severe weather threat for today. Lewisburg, you're in the clear as well with this severe weather threat. Okay, Shelbyville, we're in the clear for, or Bedford County, we're in the clear for this severe weather threat. Okay, the severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled for Bedford County. Okay, so if you live in Bedford County, Marshall, or Murray County, we're done for the day. No more strong to severe thunderstorms to worry about. Yeah, I think the worst of the storm there for you, Steve. Steve said that decent rain outside of Bell Buckle, but I don't see anything bad. Yeah, the worst of it did bypass Bell Buckle to the south, which is good. I think y'all are getting some good rain there, but in terms of severe weather, that was definitely to your south. Okay, more towards Normandy and down towards Flat Creek and Ross and southern Shelbyville. Okay. And again, if you have, I say again, I hadn't even said this yet, but if you have any severe weather reports in terms of wind damage or hail size or large hail or anything, please send those to me on Facebook Messenger at ekirby@stnweather.com. Okay, anything like that, I would love to be able to show them. I would love to be able to. To use them and also send them into the Weather Service because the Weather Service loves to have this type of information. I'm actually going to check because I haven't been paying attention to my Facebook, and I will see if we have anything. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm looking over here at my other screen to see if we have any reports of hail. Okay, so here's an interesting video from. Okay, so this is just north of Petersburg in Marshall County. Okay, just north of Petersburg in Marshall County, and you can see there's some pretty good sized hail, probably just shy of quarter size, probably nickel sized hail there for us in Petersburg, and then we will. I don't know if I can. I may have to download that. Hold on. I promise I'll get it up here in a second. So this is in Petersburg. And some pretty good looking storm clouds there in Petersburg, okay? So again, if you have any pictures or anything, I'd love to be able to show them. All right, here we go. We're starting to get some. All right, this is Alyssa sent this in from Barton Springs. Okay, there's some hail sticking to the sticking to the window there. A little bit of hail falling there in Barton Springs. So that's an interesting photo too. So again, if you can submit it through the app too if you want. Submit anything through the app or anything like that. That'd be great to be able to see everything come in live. So anyway, let's go. Let's zoom back down in here and show where the worst of the storm is. So it's coming right into Tullahoma right now. So Homaway Village, Briarwood, Pineview Heights, Bel Air, Westwood, Kaywood, right along Wilson Avenue, up Normandy Road and Flowertown Road up into 41A. The worst of the storm is over you right now. Potentially some small hail, but really I think the main threat here is going to be gusty, damaging winds, okay? For us here in Manchester, the worst of the storm is just here west. I think the strongest part of this storm is going to be around Pea Ridge Road down towards Wigan Lane and Vaughn Hollow Road. This is, I believe, okay, some of these roads aren't popping up for me here. Cathy Ridge Road as well, Roberts or Rotten's Chapel Road, Sugar Camp Road, places like that. Probably seeing some pretty good sized hail, potentially up to the size of quarters. And this is moving directly into downtown Manchester and the I-24 corridor, okay, in the next few moments. Now, for us here in Hillcrest, Blackjack, Belmont, right along State Route 55, Rutledge Falls, likely seeing a little bit more elevated winds, okay? There's a little bit of a bow, a very localized bow over the Mountain View area of Coffee County and coming into the Highway 55 corridor. So potentially, some maybe up to quarter-sized hail there for us in central Coffee County right now, okay? For us here in Lynchburg and Moore County, the Weather Service is actually canceling the severe thunderstorm warning for Franklin and Moore County and going to replace it with a TMU severe thunderstorm warning. So remember that special weather statement, that tan-looking thing? So that'll be coming for Franklin and Moore County in place of the tornado or the severe thunderstorm warning we just had in effect, okay? I did want to check here because I have another maybe good picture or video to show. Wow, so this is in Valley View in Normandy, right as the worst of the storm was starting to come in. Wow, look at that! Isn't that crazy? That's a beautiful, that's beautiful storm structure, and there's a beautiful lightning strike. Beautiful lightning strike, just right off on the other side of the trees there, in Normandy. Okay, so let's look here at. Whoops. Let me go over here. Sorry about that. All right, so here's in Tullahoma as well. Here's in Tullahoma. You can see a nice shelf cloud. A very nice shelf cloud showing up there in Tullahoma. This is at the Tullahoma Lanes, I believe. Right there's a Kia dealership looking off towards the east. Okay. And my reporter there says that it's getting pretty rough there in Tullahoma right now with some winds and rain. Okay, so anyway, let's go back to let's go back and look at this coming into downtown Manchester right now. The black colors here could be potentially some quarter plus sized hail. Okay, coming into Melrose Park, right at Woodbury Highway. Okay, right down towards exit 111 there. Let's take a look here and see if we can pull up the TDOT camera at. Sorry, if y'all hear that buzzing, I apologize for that. There's just a lot going on right now. I'm sure y'all y'all understand that. So anyway, here's this is in Manchester right now, I-24 exit 111, and it's just now starting to rain here. It's just starting to rain. P Ridge and Kathy Ridge Sugar Camp. My road was there and all that. MG England Road, we had blinding rain. Visibility was horrible. Now it's lightened up. Thank you so much for the report there, Miss Holly. Thank you, thank you. There is not a tornado in Tullahoma. There's not a tornado in Tullahoma. Don't know who would be saying that, but there's just straight line winds and hail is what we're watching right now. No tornado warnings or anything like that for Tullahoma here. Okay, so let's look here at this is exit 111 off of TDOT, the TDOT SmartWay camera system, and the worst of the wind and rain should be coming in any moment here. I mean, it's there. Here's where the camera is. Okay, the camera is right here, or I think it's technically, if you want to be technical about it, it's like right here. And it should be coming, like the worst of this storm should be coming directly at the camera, if not just a tad bit to the north. Okay. So you can see the line is still a little kinky here, still a little kinky with the line, but overall, I think everything is starting to slowly wind down. I'm not saying that to, to say that we don't have strong to severe storms ongoing, because we do, but in terms of really, really like damaging storms, I think we're on the downtrend with that overall. But we still had to wait for these storms to come through. So, is it okay to drive from Lewisburg to Tullahoma? Should be just fine after these storms clear up here. We'll be good to go. There's going to be some rain and stuff like that, but nothing more. Okay. Very. I'm still waiting for the wind and rain here in Manchester proper, unless I happen to miss it. I may have missed it. I don't know. But I feel like it's not that far behind. Heavy rain just barely missed me. I'm in the Balkan community off Kathy Ridge, not far from P Ridge and Normandy Lake. All right. Thank you, Diane, for the report there. Yes, and anyone that has a TUA, we're not allowed to use TUA's cameras, so that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's. It looks like the rain is now getting here at exit 111 off of I-24, and a very heavy rain. Maybe the traffic is starting to slow down here on 24 as well. Radio just said there's around 2 in Shelbyville. I don't know what radio station would be saying that, because they wouldn't. Most of them around here would have me on anyway, because I do the radio for most of the stations here. But I don't see another round in Shelbyville. Or this should be it. I'm thinking, yeah. And I didn't mean to sound harsh when I said that, but it should be. I think we'll be good to go once this line is over. So, the worst of the storm here is definitely right over top of Manchester right now. Okay, looks like the worst of the hail just went just north of our 111 camera, but in terms of the worst of the hail, it's going to be right up here near their New Union Elementary School, down Woodbury Highway, around the Cracker Barrel, over towards the fairgrounds there in Manchester proper. Nice and sunny. Oh yeah, Bill was the one earlier that said that he told me that I was going back and forth on my forecasts all the time. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Bill, he's one of the trolls we have here. The Big 98 said, "Okay, Tyler. Well, I don't know who's on there talking about that, but it's definitely not going to have a second round with really bad storms." Okay. Rutledge Falls, just like rain right now. Thank you, Tracy, for the report there. So we'll zoom back down in here into Manchester. So Forest Mill up there, by the big grain silo on State Route 55 coming out of Summitville towards Manchester down to Ragsdale, and then exit 114 kind of getting in on the worst of this action right this moment here, okay? Let's actually look at the 114 camera if I have it. I don't have it loaded in here, unfortunately. Unfortunately. I thought I did. No, there's Manchester too. Oh, well, Manchester won. Yes, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. I just wasn't paying attention. Manchester 2. I'm not seeing Manchester 1 on there. Brian said he submitted the picture through the app and he loves it. Downloaded it today. Well, that's awesome, Brian. Thank you for the support there. So, hold on. I'm having some technical difficulties here. The shape looks like a child's face looking down. All right, that's a good that's an interesting assessment there. Maybe y'all can see that. I can't see that myself, but that's interesting. You said that. Okay, so yes, sir, Tyler. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in here. So, just one more quick look here. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Coffee and Grundy County, and again, this goes until 5 o'clock p.m. Okay, one round of storms. After this round, we're done. Shelbyville, we're done. Okay, we're done for the evening in terms of severe weather. Okay, Lewisburg, we're done in terms of severe weather. Columbia, we're done in terms of severe weather. But for us here in Coffee and Grundy County, still have a couple more moments here as this storm pushes off towards the east, okay? So let's do another storm track here, or at least show some of the times of arrival. So Beersheba Springs, 4:46 p.m., okay? Hillsboro, 4:28. A few there in Hillsboro. Woods Reservoir, 4:26 p.m. Colmont, 4:50 p.m. And once we get down south of there, there's really not much worth even noting. But in terms of, folks right around in here, you got Pelham. We're talking about probably 4:36 or so for us here in Pelham, okay? And lightning still around 3 strikes a minute. So not overly impressive, but still a little bit of lightning. And by far, the worst threat here is going to be, the potential for some gusty winds, maybe up to 60 miles per hour. I think for the most part, the rain has kind of died, or the storms have died down a little bit since we started tracking them earlier this afternoon across Giles County. But, we still have a few showers and thunderstorms here across the region, which could bring some gusty winds. For us here in Tullahoma, let's zoom down here into Tullahoma. The worst of the storm has pretty much come past you. It's still around Spring Creek Road, Tullahoma Highway, coming up 41A out of Estill Springs. But overall, the worst part of this storm has exited the city of Tullahoma. Okay, so for you folks there in Tullahoma, we'll be good to go for the rest of the evening. Okay, I am going to pull up the UTSI camera here and see. It's pointed the wrong way, obviously, but you can see there is some sun. Oh, Bill was right. There is a little bit of sunshine there in Winchester, but you can see that it's very black just off the screen there, and that's where we have some strong winds coming in out of the south and or out of the east, or out of the west. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry. Yes, we Elijah put a good thing in here. We partner with local radio stations in Tullahoma, Manchester, and Bedford County. So WLIJ, WZNG, and then we also have Thunder Radio, WMSR, and 93.9 The Duck, the Rooster 101.5, and Whiskey Country 105.1, and they have another frequency as well there. But I have a big network of radio stations here in southern Middle Tennessee. So light rain here in Halls Mill. Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, the worst has come past you there in Halls Mill. But again, if you have any reports to send me, please feel free. I'd love to see your reports come in here. I'm going to sign in to that. There's a stupid two-factor authentication. Okay. I'm going to look here and see what kind of pictures we have. All right, so we have a few here. Here's one photo, and we'll see. This is at Estill Springs. Okay, this is in Estill Springs. Pretty nice little thunderstorm coming through, or the dark clouds there moving into Estill Springs with a strong thunderstorm. This is a Ledford Mill in Coffee, maybe Moore County there. Some rain falling there. And then here's another one north of Petersburg. Just north of Petersburg, you can see the shelf cloud right off the horizon there. The shelf cloud right on the horizon there. But these are some of the pictures I've gotten in on my weather app. And again, if you have any pictures, feel free to send them in to me here. I'd love to share them. I have quite a few from the ice storm a couple weeks ago, and I'd love to share any more that you have. So please feel free to send me any pictures you have from on the weather app. Just go to the submit pictures icon and click there, and then it'll ask you to open up your camera roll. There may be an issue or a bug on it with in terms of the Android app. There might still be a bug with that one, but I know iOS will definitely let you send pictures in. But either way, you can just send pictures in to my email, ekirby@stnweather.com, or on social media, Facebook Messenger, stuff like that. Okay. Just rain here in Bradyville. Luckily, nothing severe. Yes, it's definitely calmed down a little bit. Definitely calmed down a little bit here over the past few minutes anyway. There is a strong thunderstorm here in southern Franklin County. So this is a JV severe thunderstorm warning. You see this tan box here. This is the junior varsity TEMU severe thunderstorm warning for maybe 40, 50 mile per hour winds, potentially some small hail as well with this particular storm that's moving out of Hazel Green and towards Huntland. Okay, this is moving in the general direction of Huntland. But right now, looks like 40, maybe 30 mile per hour winds there, for 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. So nothing too crazy there for us in the Huntland area, Hazel Green. But just be aware that there could be some stronger storms down that way as well. But definitely still the strongest part of this storm is going to be right along State Route 127 right now, around Wintontown, Sainville, over towards Asbury, and then into Hillsboro. Okay, Miss Tammy, if you're on here, I'm going to get some strong winds here in Hillsboro here in just a moment. Okay, we have another 30 minutes on this severe thunderstorm warning, so we'll see if they decide to continue this. And the reason I'm not looking at the velocity data right now is that the way that the radar operates, you can see that it's based out of northern Jackson County in Alabama. Okay, so right now the way the storms are moving are basically due east, right? Well, the radar doesn't get a great scan of the winds in this area. Like it doesn't get a good scan of the winds. The only time it gets a good scan of the winds is when the storm is coming directly towards the radar or away from the radar. Now, in terms of rotation and stuff, that's a whole different story. It does a great job, regardless of which way the direction of the storm is. But um, anyway, what I've noticed in the past, and what I've learned in meteorology school is, if the storm is not coming directly head on to you, it can be really hard to see some of the wind gusts with the radar data. So that's why I'm really not looking at the wind velocity data right now from the radar. We're just kind of sticking with the normal radar here with just showing the wind and the rain and the hail, right? I have noticed that we're getting a little uptick here in the lightning. Total strikes up to 11 here with the lightning. And this worst part of the storm here is still Sainville, Viola, Chestnut Grove, Hubbard's Cove, Winton Town, kind of where the worst of this storm is at this time. Tullahoma, you're in the clear. Lynchburg, you're in the clear. Shelbyville, Lewisburg, Columbia, Mount Pleasant, Spring Hill, Manchester in the clear. Beech Grove in the clear. Pretty much everywhere. So there's a lot of great, or there's a lot of communities that are in the clear now from this severe weather threat. I'm really most concerned right now with this portion of the storm here from Morrison down to about Hillsboro. Okay, so right in through here. We can do a quick storm track on this as this moves into Grundy County, and we'll again stay live until this storm exits Grundy County all the way. But Grundy County, heads up, you're up next here. So we have Sainville now, Winton Town, 432, or in 1 minute. Stephenson, along Stephenson Road there, 433. Chestnut Grove, 437. Hickson, 439. Northcutt's Cove, 442. Stepsville, 4:45, and Mount Olive at 4:46 p.m. Okay, 4:46 p.m. So we do have. I would like to note that there are a few trees down on I-65 near exit 22 in Cornersville. That was just a report that came in, and we'll maybe show that report here in just a moment. Okay, there's a report of thunderstorm wind damage in Columbia, right? They're in Columbia, and then of course there's just one that came in there in Cornersville as well, and that's kind of where the worst of this storm has been tracking over the past couple minutes here. Hail, high winds, and rain came through Petersburg. Raining hard in Hillsboro, and the wind is crazy. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Dana. So Hillsboro, you're getting in on the worst of the stormage right now, coming right along Winchester Highway and Hillsboro Viola Road, coming into Woods Reservoir right now as well. And then this will eventually be coming into Pelham and Stephenson and Glenn, and Winton Town is getting in on some of the worst of this action. You can see there's still a little bit of a bowing signature here. And remember, a bow, right? It's like you're flexing a bow backwards to throw the arrow out. And what happens is you get really strong winds right here, because the reason why you get a bow is you have strong upper level flow that comes down and pushes all the rain outward. Okay, so it's kind of pushing it outward, and then this is where you can get some gusty, damaging winds, potentially up to 60 miles per hour here. And this is going to come right over Hubbard's Cove and Chestnut Grove, Mount Olive, Tarreltown, Beersheba Springs, and Altamont here. I believe that's State Route 50-something down through there. I don't remember it off the top of my head. It's not showing up. But it's one of those 50s there. All right, so here's another report of some hail, and this is in, let's see, New Union and Manchester. So there's some pretty good hail sizes there. Uh-oh. And then here is a view. This is a great view here from Ledford Mill as well. So I had another picture from Ledford Mill come in, and you can see the really dark, ominous gray clouds moving in over the Ledford Mill area and into Tullahoma. Okay, but definitely by far the worst of this storm is right up here near Sainville and Hubbard's Cove and Winton Town. And again, you can send all your reports to the Southern Tennessee Weather app, and I would love to be able to show them off and post about them later on as time allows. All right, I'm going to check on a different storm here real quickly, just in a southern Lincoln County, and this is coming towards Huntland. Maybe have some small hail here, potentially some gusty winds as well. We can actually look at the velocity data for this one, and we're looking maybe 30, 45, 50 mile per hour wind gusts there. So not technically severe, but that's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on over the next few moments as this storm moves into Huntland, okay? As it pushes into Huntland. But in terms of, again, the worst part of this storm is definitely between Morrison and Altamont at this time. Yes, see you later, Brian. Thank you so much. Highway 56 in Altamont. Yes, Highway 56. So that's what I was trying to figure out earlier. So Altamont there, Highway 56. Okay, thank you, Randy. Thank you. Um, so I'll say this again for us here. Columbia, Murray County in the clear, Lewisburg in the clear, Shelbyville in the clear, Moore County in the clear, Winchester not in the clear yet. I don't know why I put you had to wait for these storms to get through, but it doesn't look very bad for you there in Winchester. It doesn't look very bad at all. But let's go to the power outages. Let's see what we got. And this update's from poweroutage.us. And we have about 200 people without power there in Marshall County. Bedford County not reporting anything at this time. And then Murray County there, 100 people out as well. So that's probably when the worst of the storm kind of came like southward, right? The southern portion of Murray and Marshall County, and then into Bedford. So we'll have to see if there was any power issues there coming into Bedford County, but it takes a little bit to update and populate on that end. All right, checking the chat room here again just to make sure I haven't missed anything, and we're just sticking with this severe thunderstorm warning that runs until 5 o'clock p.m. here, mostly for southeastern Coffee into Grundy County now is kind of where the worst of this storm is right now, okay? And we're starting to drop off in viewers too because this storm is starting to move off towards the east, right? But still here in Grundy County, I'll stick with you here for a little bit longer. And I'll stop moving the thing around. I apologize for that. It's just me. That's me being me sometimes. I don't want to make y'all dizzy or anything, but this is kind of where the worst of the wind and rain is right now, right along this white line, and then we'll drag this out here at 50 miles per hour. Okay, so we have Rutledge Hill at 439, Pelham at 442, Stepsville at 442. Altamont at 4:45 and Fremont at 4:48 p.m. Okay, so that's kind of the latest timeline here for the strongest part of this severe thunderstorm as it continues to push off towards the east. Again, potentially up to 60 mile per hour winds will be possible with the worst of this storm. And I honestly think if there is going to be any 60 mile per hour winds, it's going to be in this general area right here where I circled between Morrison and Altamont, kind of near the Viola area, Mount Zion there in southern Warren County. Okay, is kind of where I think the worst of this storm is right now. We're down to 8 strikes, so not overly impressive in that regard, but we'll look here at the storm reports, still not populating there. Let's look over the past hour. You can see where the worst of this storm cluster came through here, just kind of followed this general path right up into, and will probably continue past Warren and Grundy County, but you can see the worst of it just south of Shelbyville, came up through Manchester, and will continue to push off into the Altamont and Warren County areas over the next little bit here, okay? Let me check the Let me check and see if there's any rotation or anything. All reds, that's good. Not seeing anything crazy in terms of the terms of strong winds or anything like that, or rotating winds anyway. Let's come down in here into Franklin County. I know I have a few folks asking about Franklin County. Estill Springs, just seeing some light to moderate rain. Deckard, about to get in on some of the light to moderate rain. Winchester and Cowan will be next up. I am watching this little stronger coming into Huntland right now. It's not severe, but it is on the strong side, okay? And I'm going to be watching it closely over the next 10 to 15 minutes over Flintville right now and moving towards Huntland, and eventually it's on a general track towards Winchester, Cowan, and Keith Springs. So it's something I'll keep an eye on. But I really, at this moment, don't think we're going to have very many issues with that particular storm. But I'll look at the velocity data again just to see if there's anything crazy going on here. And again, maybe 30, 40 mile per hour winds, but nothing over dramatic and crazy in that department. All right, we'll zoom on out here and just get a broad overview. So we have a line or cluster of thunderstorms producing damaging winds and a little bit of hail that's pushed through a good portion of all of our area this afternoon. We did have a couple strong to severe thunderstorms up here in Kentucky, and then there are a couple severe thunderstorms in Pennsylvania as well as Virginia. But for the most part, it's been fairly tame today, besides the really strong thunderstorm that we had pushing into Grundy County and in Warren County right now, which I don't technically cover Warren County, but we're just kind of covering anything and everything at this point. We'll see. Let's go to my any other reports? Yeah. Okay, nothing, no other reports coming in there. We'll look at the camera that we have in Pelham off of I-24. And okay, so this is the camera off of Pelham. This is a Pelham camera at exit 127 of I-24 exit 127 there in Pelham, and it's a little windy. I really, at this point, I don't know if this portion of the line is strong to severe. I really don't think it is. But you could have some strong winds ongoing there. All right, I apologize. I needed to take a sip of water. I haven't had a sip of water in a little bit. I'm going to check the Huntsville chat to make sure nothing crazy there. All right, nothing for us here. I'm not seeing very much else. It's super impressive at this point. The storm hasn't gotten to Pelham yet. I'll keep an eye on it over here on this second monitor, just to see as it continues to come in. But right now, the worst of the storm about to come into Pelham, or maybe just north. It's coming through Glen right now. Stephenson, Hickson, Elkhead, Payne Cove, Fremont, Colmont, Dogtown, uh, Grutley Logger. I hope I said that right. Cumberland Heights, Altamont, Beersheba Springs, Tarleton, Mount Olive, and North Cuts Cove. Kind of the next areas in line here for the severe thunderstorm warning that we continue to have in effect until 5 o'clock p.m. So we have another 15 minutes or so here on this severe thunderstorm warning for Grundy and Eastern Coffee County. Now, thankfully, Coffee County is pretty much in the clear now. If you're in Coffee County, you're in the clear from this severe weather threat. Okay, we're seeing a little bit of rain still, but nothing too crazy, right? And that'll continue to be the case over the next few minutes here. All right, I'm gonna look at the rain totals. Ooh, well, okay, there we go. So here's a look at the rainfall totals over the past couple minutes here with this. Um, I'm looking over here at the Pelham camera. It's starting to get a little crazy. Rainfall estimates here. Maybe I mean, it's not overly impressive here. It's not overly impressive here, but we're talking about maybe up to an inch. But most of us here below half an inch so far. But more rain is expected here over the next few hours. Okay, I have a few people asking about Franklin County here, so let's go back down. I'm going to zoom in here to Huntland, and you can see there's a pretty strong thunderstorm about to push in. Potentially some P nickel-sized hail, P2 nickel-sized hail will be possible here over the next few moments in Huntland, Mount Carmel, Beans Creek, Hickory Grove, Branchville. If you remember from last week, we had a hailstorm come through these areas, or I guess it's been 2 weeks ago now. But in terms of the severe weather threat, we're beginning to quiet down. I'll continue to keep an eye on this storm. It's going to be fairly strong, going to have some gusty winds, some heavy rainfall, potentially some small hail. But in terms of a widespread severe weather outbreak or anything like that, we're past that at this point. But we did have a lot of strong to severe thunderstorms here over the past 2 hours or so. Windy and rainy in Altamont. Thank you very much for the report there. Yeah, it's coming up on you right now. I know my radar runs a little bit behind sometimes, but I mean it's right there on you there in Altamont, and will continue to be over the next few moments. So, and it's still have this warning out until 5 o'clock, so we have another 15 minutes or so. Here's Pelham. Here's Pelham in Grundy County, and it's a little windy. You can see the camera shaking a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Nothing we haven't seen before by far. And I think pretty much this section of the line down here is fairly weak. From Pelham down to Piedmont and on to Mont Eagle Mountain. There, it's not an overly impressive thunderstorm in my opinion. Let's look here at the Huntland storm again because it's starting to perk up a little bit. We'll look at the velocity data and see if what kind of winds we're getting here. Maybe 30, 40 miles per hour, but nothing too crazy for us there in Huntland. There's also not any lightning, so while it may be perking up a little bit, a thunderstorm needs lightning. You can have severe thunderstorms without lightning, but it's very uncommon, especially with the environment we have in place today. So, we could maybe have some small hail ongoing here just north of Huntland, but nothing too crazy. Now, for us in Winchester, going to have some heavy rainfall come in here momentarily. It's right over Timms Ford Lake right now on Broadview area down to Taylortown and Belvedere, and this will be moving into Winchester proper. Bel Air Heights over to Myers and Murray Lake Estates up to Eastbrook and Deckard in the next 5 minutes or so at the most here. And let's do another storm track. Just kind of giving a good general idea for everybody of what we can expect here. So, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Okay. Beersheba Springs, around 5 o'clock p.m. on the nose. Grutley Logger, 5:01. Colmont, 4:57. Tracy City, 5:05. We're talking about Mont Eagle, probably around 5:06. Okay. And we'll go down a little bit further here into Winchester proper. Probably getting in on some rain now. It'll get heavy here in a minute there in Winchester. Nothing strong to severe. 4:55 p.m. for you there. Swanee, 5:05 p.m. Huntland, as that storm continues to exit, it'll be at the State Route 16 corridor on Keith Springs Mountain about 5:02, and then into the holler there in Sherwood and Anderson, probably around 5:09 p.m. for you folks there in Sherwood and Anderson there in the holler. All right, they're in the holler. But there is some good news to share here. It does look like that the Weather Service is going to let this severe thunderstorm warning expire. Okay, and they're going to go with a Timu severe thunderstorm warning here, and that'll populate here in just a moment. Yep, there it goes. I mean, that is right on the money there. You can see the new Timu severe thunderstorm warning here in this tannish looking polygon, but nothing nothing overly crazy at this point. I think the storms have mostly kind of lost their energy. So here in Shelbyville, just seeing some light to moderate rainfall. Tullahoma is in the clear. Okay, Tullahoma is in the clear. Julia, Manchester in the clear. Fayetteville in the clear. Lewisburg, Columbia, Mount Pleasant, Spring Hill, all in the clear from this severe thunderstorm warning. And also, if you would like to sponsor the page in any way, sponsor what I do here at Southern Tennessee Weather, the way I keep this free is by businesses being able to sponsor me. So if you have a business and want to get your business in front of a lot of eyes, send me an email at ekirby@stnweather.com. I had to throw in a plug. I'm sorry, but ekirby@stnweather.com. If you want your, you know, your business to be in front of a lot of eyes here during severe weather coverage and everything else, then we'd love to talk to you. I'd love to talk to you because I'm the only one really doing this right now. But I'd love to talk to you and speak with you and see how our businesses can sponsor or can partner together to help keep people safe here in southern Middle Tennessee. But again, it looks like overall the storms are quieting down enough. And I know I've said that a few times, but honestly, I mean, the severe thunderstorm warning has come down. It's still in effect here, but we're going with a special weather statement now for these storms. And the severe thunderstorm watch has also been trimmed back, and doesn't even include Bedford, Marshall, or Murray County anymore. So we'll look at this storm here outside of Huntland. Maybe we can get a good idea of it here with the radar hail threats. About a half inch sized hail. That's what we're seeing here. Not super big. That's not severe hail, but still. Flat Creek, you're done. Bedford, Moore, Coffee, Marshall, and Murray counties are in the clear. Lincoln County is in the clear. Right now, we're only concerned, and that concern is at the bottom, right at the lower tier. But our concern right this moment is going to be Lincoln, or excuse me, Moore. I'm sorry, I'll get it eventually. I'm tired. I had to drive. I drove all the way to Nashville and back in the course of just over 2 hours. So I've been driving a lot today. I've had a lot going on. I apologize if I'm messing up some stuff here and there, but the only places we're concerned about right now, in air quotes, is going to be Grundy County and Franklin County, right? That's kind of the only two places that have anything worth mentioning. But even there, it's not anything super crazy, okay? Not anything super crazy here for us with this thunderstorm. Let's look at the velocity data again. Still not seeing anything. Still not seeing anything crazy. We're down to 20 miles an hour. I mean, it gets less and less impressive. Less and less impressive. But we'll stay with this warning here for another 5 minutes or so. One thing I did want to show is let's look at these temperatures behind this. So we have temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Grundy County down into Franklin County, and then further east. I mean, we're looking at, or further west, we're looking at, maybe 40 or 60 to 65 degrees for us there. Okay. Let's look at power outages again just to see. We're still sitting at 200 in Marshall and 100 in Murray County. And we'll look here at the next 7 days. Let's look at the next 7 days. 90% chance of showers and thunderstorms today. Of course, it's probably 100% chance now because it's rated right now. But 79 degrees for the high. 55 tomorrow. Going to be a lot cooler tomorrow. Cloudy skies. A little bit of decreasing cloud cover as the day goes on. Friday, Saturday looks fairly good, but you can see Monday and Tuesday highs in the mid 40s. Bleh. Bleh, bleh, bleh. That's all I have to say about that. I'm not very impressed. All right, let's we can probably wrap things up here momentarily once this severe thunderstorm warning gets canceled. But Beersheba Springs and Altamont getting in on the worst of the action right now. Maybe up to 60-mile-per-hour winds. Not really expecting much more than that, though. Beersheba Springs, same thing with you there along Highway 56. Grootley Logger, probably going to get in on some of the worst of the action here after a while. Colmont, you'll see some heavy rainfall, gusty winds, but in terms of severe weather, that's what I have to say about that. It's just not. It's not looking good. It's looking good for those of us that don't want storms. So yeah, it is looking good, but in terms of like radar presentation and stuff, it's not looking good, right? Coda Wilson, you're in the clear if you're in Tullahoma. You're good to go. We're really only worried about right now Franklin County and Grundy County, and even there, we're not super worried. Not super worried at all. Maybe some small hail here between Deckard and Winchester along a bypass road there at Franklin County High School up towards downtown Deckard. Potentially up to P sized hail, but nothing overly impressive there in Winchester and Deckard, and that's all moving towards Cowan. So once you get done with it here in Winchester and Deckard, it's going to come out 41A, and it'll be with you there in Cowan there momentarily. So Lincoln and Moore counties are now cleared from the severe thunderstorm watch as well. We're done. We're done with the severe weather after this gets through. We're done. We're done. Bye-bye. So you can wave bye-bye to the storm. So there'll be some stronger, stronger areas of rain into the evening hours. But in terms of a severe weather threat, just not looking good. Not seeing anything impressive or worthwhile in terms of a additional severe weather threat into the evening. And we can look at that here on the, let's look at the HRRR model. You can see, just some rain. It's just going to rain. And you can't get severe weather when it's, did you see that? We could have a few flurries on the plateau early tomorrow morning, but this on the plateau there in Grundy County, maybe a few flurries as activity exits quickly. But look at this. Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Yuck. 38 degrees. 38 degrees. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. You can see there's that line that we just have, and then it's gone. Maybe some flurries, a light snow shower on the Cumberland Plateau, but no impacts or accumulations are expected in that regard there. Okay. We'll look at dew points, still in the 60s. Temperatures still about the same. Let's look at power outages again. Still sitting at 300 total, and that's across all power providers, not just Duck River. So keep that in mind. We'll have to see about the spring being, we're moving into a El Nino, and El Nino usually gives us drier and warmer weather. So we'll have to see. I think overall, we've had two very active severe weather seasons in both in 2024 and 2025. So I mean, we're going to have systems like this. We're going to have strong to severe thunderstorms. We're going to have that stuff. I mean, it's just how the springtime works around here. But in terms of any big outbreaks or anything like that, the data that we have, the climatology suggests that we're probably not going to have, a crazy severe weather season, but climatology doesn't always equal the truth, right? What actually happens. You can look at the analogs in the past years and stuff, and that helps sometimes, but it's hard to pinpoint exactly, what kind of severe weather year we're going to have. It's almost impossible until it's on us, and it is now. I mean, we're getting some strong to severe weather today. So anyway, I the severe thunderstorm warning is just went away. So we're done with the severe thunderstorm warnings here. Still some strong storms ongoing, Winchester to Deckard, over to Swanee and Huntland. But for the time being here, we are done with the severe weather threat. And for the rest of the evening, we're all clear across the entire area in terms of severe weather for the rest of this evening, okay? I'll have a post here after a while saying that we're all clear. I'm going to wait for these storms to exit before we totally go clear. But, for the most part, we're done with the severe weather threat for today. We're going to have some more rain into the evening hours and overnight into early tomorrow morning. But again, the severe weather threat is going bye-bye for the rest of the day. So thank you guys for tuning in to our extended severe weather coverage here at the Duck River Electric Weather Center for the severe weather threat today. But I hope that this is it for today, and we will be back again with Kirby's weather snapshot here momentarily. I'm going to get off here and start recording that. So thank you guys again for tuning in, and we will see you very soon with the Kirby's weather snapshot coming up here after a while. So y'all have a blessed rest of your evening.
Accurate local weather without the mainstream hype. You're watching the Southern Tennessee Weather Channel.
Credit Union, we help when others won't. The older model car that you need to get to work, we've helped with that. The HVAC unit that suddenly needs to be replaced, we've helped with that. Repairing your credit, we've even helped with that. Experience the Heritage South difference at heritagesouth.org.
Didn't think termites were up this early.
They really don't go to sleep. But now that it's warming up, termites really start moving.
But I'm good, right?
Oh yeah, you're good. Don't worry about pests this spring. Call Cooks, and you'll already be a step ahead of them.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie Cooks Pest Control.
Accurate local weather without the mainstream hype. You're watching the Southern Tennessee Weather Channel.